and I still believe that whatever I have are the hands of God and the mouth of God and the mind of God. I can use them for good.
This is an interview I never thought I would do on the Miracle Hotline. My mother has a debilitating form of ALS that has been progressing very slowly. Over the past 10 years, she has gone from working full-time, caring for her grandchildren, hosting family dinners and parties for the whole family, and taking care of her husband Bob, whose health had also been declining until he died in 2014. Her entire body has progressively become paralyzed, starting with her legs and traveling to her arms, and now she can only talk. We have been praying for her healing all this time, and even though she has been under the care of many specialists and healers, her condition continues to get worse. To me, what has happened to my mother is the opposite of a miracle. But since my last interview with Alex Mobley, he has shown me that adversity is a miracle. So I interviewed my mother, Mary Lloyd, to find out if she could see her devastating health condition as a miracle. Welcome to the Miracle Hotline podcast. I'm Dino Pandolfo. Everyone has experienced a miracle at some point in their life. Maybe you have prayed for a miracle, or maybe you are in desperate need of help. When a miracle happens, it is overwhelming, amazing, and you are so grateful for the gift God has given you. This podcast gives you the opportunity to share your miracle story so that others may believe and have hope, and it will encourage them to keep praying in difficult times. This show examines miracles. It includes first-person accounts, interviews, and investigations of the most credible and amazing miracle stories. You can tell us about your miracle by leaving a message at 412-446-0330 or visiting miraclehotline.com. We may play your message or interview you on the podcast. Subscribe to the Miracle Hotline podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any podcast app to automatically download the newest episodes. I was doing an interview for that Miracle Hotline podcast, and this guy had a stroke, and he lost half of his the left side of his body. He couldn't use his arm or his leg or anything, and he wasn't afraid. He wasn't panicking or anything. He thought, oh well, God told him to just stay calm and everything was going to be okay. And so he just has been working through it. He's not 100% yet, but he's fine. And what he said was, in his interview I did with him, he said that the adversity and this stroke was the miracle. That adversity was a miracle to strengthen him and challenge him. And I thought that was weird. I mean, usually a miracle is something good happens, not something bad, you know?
Yeah.
Then I was thinking about you, because you've had this, what is your condition called? I forget what it's exactly called.
ALS.
It's ALS.
Yeah.
But it's a slow-moving ALS.
Yeah.
But it's still classified as ALS, but it's been, usually with people with ALS, they die within a couple of years. I mean, you've been dealing with this for
almost 20 years.
So you started feeling it, and you didn't know what it was, though, but it progressed over the last 20 years.
Yes.
The Miracle Hotline podcast, I'm trying to talk to people that have had miracles. Could you think of your ALS as a miracle, the adversity?
I often think about I started to get it in early 2000.
Yeah, you started not... I remember you said you had to lift your leg out of the car. You just started having balance issues. And, yeah. But I didn't know. I didn't think anything of it until... I don't even know what year it was.
Bob died.
When Bob died, I know. Before Bob died, we were taking care of him, and you were, but I remember he was in bad shape and you were starting to get in bad shape, and you would help each other, just go up steps and stuff. You'd be hooking onto a railing and you'd be grabbing him and he'd be grabbing you, and it was kind of comical, but I guess you helped each other enough to get by.
Yeah, we helped each other to get by.
But after he died, that you didn't have him to take care of, so you didn't I guess you couldn't push yourself as hard, and just the depression of that maybe got to you.
Yeah, then after he died, I got real bad.
Yeah. I was thinking of interviewing you, and maybe I'm recording you now because I wanted you to talk about, if you could, with your condition. I always thought it was a tragedy. You're only 72. You were always had so much energy, and if you didn't have this condition, you'd be, you'd still be running around, driving, working, whatever. You were always so busy and did so much for people. I think it's so sad. I think it's a tragedy. But with this last interview I did, Alex said his miracle, I always thought the miracle for you would be that you'd be healed. We always prayed for you to be healed, to come out of this. And it's just never happened for the last, how long's it been? We've been praying and praying and praying, and it's just it's getting worse and worse and worse and worse. Could you, I can't think of it as a miracle, but could you've been having a lot of time to think about this. Would you ever think this is the miracle, your adversity, your this bad thing that's happened to you?
Well, it's good because while I'm in here, I couldn't see what's wrong with how people are being taken care of, and I can have correct things. I become an advocate for people who can't take care of themselves.
Yeah. Because your mind is 100% still. That's the thing that's really,
Yeah, my mind is 100%. My body shut down.
Well, so you're saying that you were a nurse and you worked in nursing homes and you worked in the hospital for many, many years. I mean, it's not funny, but it's ironic that you started out as a nurse's aide in the same company, and you worked your way up through LPN and registered nurse. Through doing that, you worked your way up all through that by working and taking care of people in the same nursing home that you're now in. So that's ironic. And you saw the nurse's side of it, but now you're seeing the patients or the resident side of it. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah, I worked my way up, and I can see everything on the employee's side and the caregiver's side.
Yeah.
And I can see things through the patient's side.
Yeah.
Resident's side.
Yeah. Like, how has your opinion changed? I mean, I know when you were a nurse, you took really great care of you really cared, and that was hard because it would affect you.
Yeah.
But and I know you always said, "Oh, well, I'm working so hard to keep everyone in good shape, and some people are lazy, and it was up to you to pick up the slack." So, how has your opinion changed since you're now on the other side?
It's the same. some people work so hard and they care so much, and other people don't care at all.
Yeah.
And I make sure and I tell them about the people who aren't doing a good job.
Yeah.
Because if they're not taking care of me, they're not taking care of the other people.
Yeah. Well, I know, like you have, your mind is perfect. Other people, have dementia or whatever, so you can help them even though you can't move. You can speak up for those other people that need help.
There's that old lady across
Yeah.
we call her Baby Lisa. He was born. He has a terrible birth defect.
Yeah.
I don't know how old she is, but she's like a baby.
Yeah.
He can't talk. He just makes sounds.
Yeah.
He can't walk. She is like a baby.
Yeah.
He gets fed with 2 feet.
So, Ma, could you think of your getting ALS as being the miracle, not being cured of the ALS? Could you ever think of it that way?
I could. I never thought about it, but I could think of it. And so I'm in a good position to speak up for people who can't speak up for themselves. I always thought of myself as an advocate for people who can't speak up for themselves.
Yeah.
I always look out for the other people, and I tell the bosses, I always say, I'm speaking up for everybody when I tell them about something that's going on that isn't right or doesn't benefit everybody. Oh, I've been a good advocate.
Yeah. So your mind is 100%, and you can still, like, the last thing that's been a problem is your speech. It's amazing you can still talk, because it was getting worse, and now you found a way to talk, and so we can still understand you, which is great. But you haven't been able to move, but you've been able to talk this whole time. So you're using, and you always were the best talker.
Yeah.
So with your mind and your talking, you're still able to help people, and that's really great.
Yeah. I'm able to train a lot of the nurses' aides.
Yeah.
They give me all the new people.
So you're helping to train the nurses' aides.
Of course, I am. I get all the newbies.
Because you know this.
And,
the nursing home business. You've been in it for a long, long time. So you know everything, how it should go, and you know when things aren't right. And so that's great. You're able to help the patients and help the workers. I mean, that's really great, even though you can't even move at all.
I know, I think I train them and I help them make sure they understand how the patient is.
So I know at first, you thought if you couldn't walk, that you didn't want to, you were very upset about your condition, that you didn't want to go on if you couldn't live in your own house. You didn't want to be in a nursing home. I mean, how was your attitude, the transition gone from being so depressed and upset and angry about your condition? How has that progression been from that to now? I mean, have you accepted your condition? Are you at peace with what has happened to you?
Oh, yeah, when I first realized it came to me and I wasn't going to get better, then I was just going to get worse. I was angry. I went through all the stages of grief. I got stuck on anger for a long time. I was angry with God. I thought, how could He let me be like this? I could do so much good. I had a lot of energy. I had a lot of knowledge. I could go on nursing. I could do things for my children and grandchildren. I could help out. And here I was, getting more and more debilitated. It didn't matter how much I didn't know harder. I just kept getting worse, and there was nothing I could do to stop it. I just wanted to die rather than live like this. And now I accepted it. I accepted it.
Yeah.
And now I do everything I can to be okay. And I do everything I can to help people here.
Yeah.
To terms with God, we're okay. We're okay again.
Yeah. Well, that's really great that you're helping, even as bad as you can't move a muscle except for talking, and that you can still help people. So that's a good testimony that no matter where you are, what your condition is, what your circumstances are, that you're still able and you still want to help other people. That's great.
I see people here that are not as bad as me, and they could walk and they can talk. They're bitter and angry, and they only think about themselves, and they're so bitter and so angry.
What would you say to people that, like if I ended up in a nursing home, I'd be angry and I'd be bitter. I mean, what would your advice be to people, since you've gone through it? How do you go from being bitter because of your health has failed to having peace?
Well, I'll never forget. There was a lady here. She just died a couple months ago, she was angry and bitter, and she said to me one day, she said, Mary, where are you? I said, what do you mean? He said, you're in such bad shape, and you're not angry, and you're not bitter, and you are happy, and you give us a good example of how to be happy and gracious. Doesn't matter how bad you are. Oh, the only thing I can say is I've tried to be encouraging to other people. I think the miracle is that God made me the way I am, that I can try to lift other people up.
Yeah, that you're the example that you can still be cheerful and hopeful and not bitter, that you're the example of how to, if you're cheerful and with your disability, that other people could think they should be too. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, God made me the way I am, and even though I'm here among such terrible circumstances, people's lives are shattered.
Yeah.
That's why they're here. Whether they're here because they've had strokes, they're on dialysis, they can't walk.
Yeah. So everybody there has a reason to be depressed or upset, because just being in a nursing home, just because you're there, you're already, and your health is in poor shape. So everyone there could be depressed.
That's right. Everybody there has a reason. Everybody here is here for a reason.
So what makes you have peace? Are you looking forward to going to heaven to see Bob? Do you have faith that Jesus will take care of you and you'll have salvation? Is that what's giving you peace?
Oh yeah, for a while there I didn't care. I didn't care what he did with me. I thought it would be better and living like this. And now I realize that if I continue to do God's work, here I would be okay. Remember, Lucille, her husband,
Mino.
From
Yeah, Mino.
He was an atheist.
Right.
And he said to me one day, I'll never forget it. He said, we were talking, and he said to me one day about God. He said to me, what about all the sick people? what are all this? What does God take care of them? Where are the hands of God? And I showed him my hands. I said to him, these are the hands of God, my hands. And I still believe that whatever I have are the hands of God and the mouth of God and the mind of God. I can use them for good because that's what He gave me. Whatever I have, I can use them for good.
Yeah, that's right, Ma. Yeah, and you've always been, you've served. You've been...
Well, I always think I could do more, but I always did whatever I could do. I did.
No, you did a great job, Ma. I mean, what do they say? You've done well, my faithful servant, right? Well done. Yeah, Mike is here. He's the inspiration for the podcast. He knows the scripture better than me, for sure. But, Ma, are you okay if I put you on the podcast? I'll edit your thing together. You sound good to me.
Whatever, if it helps somebody, that's good.
Yeah, I think it will, because if you can be helping and cheerful, and even though you're paralyzed, I think that will help people for sure. And be peaceful that God has given you this as a blessing. I think that will help people. Because sometimes we've been praying for you to get better, but sometimes that's not God's will. And that's, what we and you more than anybody have had to deal with. And you're doing and so incredibly well. I can't even... I can't imagine how you're doing it, so.
Okay. I'll talk to you. You dear. Bye.
Okay, I'm glad I interviewed my mom. It's amazing how she continues to serve the Lord and serve others, even though she is paralyzed. What a lesson that is to all of us who think we don't have the time, talent, or resources to serve. You can serve and love others in any circumstance. I will close with a quote from St. Teresa of Avila, which sums up what my mother believes. Christ has no body now but yours, no hands, no feet on earth, but yours. Yours are the eyes with which He looks compassion on this world. Yours are the feet with which He walks to do good. Yours are the hands through which He blesses all the world. Yours are the hands. Yours are the feet. Yours are the eyes. You are His body. Christ has no body now on earth but yours. If you have a miracle story, call in and leave a message. 412-446-0330 or visit miraclehotline.com. If you truly believe in your heart that you have experienced a miracle, we want to hear from you. If your story is compelling enough, we will play it on the podcast and we may even interview you. It is so important that we tell everyone about what God has done for us. Revelations chapter 12 verse 11 says, "They triumphed over Satan by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony." Subscribe to the Miracle Hotline podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any podcast app to automatically download the newest episodes. The Miracle Hotline podcast is sponsored by Imagine Audio and Media for all of your audio and video production, voiceovers, and CD and DVD duplication. Visit ImagineAudioMedia.com. This has been the Miracle Hotline podcast. My name is Dino Pandolfo. Please give us a call at 412-446-0330 with your miracle story or visit miraclehotline.com. Thanks for listening, and please call in.